Hello, hello. What's up, guys? I got some things to talk about. That's about working at also. Something happened at working at it, and I thought was very unique. So the lady that just started working with us sat there, and she had to get transferred because she was being, I guess, ignorant towards people, and like she trying to like be emotional and that, and be like, I don't know. This is what happens when people are when people are fucking like just stupid. Can't say stupid like they lack knowledge. No, they're stupid because they can't comprehend stuff. They can't understand that there's certain things you can't do and certain things you can do. And one of the things is, at least that I have noticed personally.
Don't let them take the implosion drive!
Or damage it on account of the blueberry factor.
So I came into work today and I was just sitting there like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Because they said that she did no call, no show. So she didn't, come in. And then all of a sudden, like, okay, so people start relating information to me. One of the manager guys talked to me that. And I was just like, okay. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Because I was just curious. Because I saw that it said CO on her name and that. I'm like, okay, like, what's going on? Then all of a sudden, one of them tells me, like, oh, yeah, she's being transferred out. She wants to be transferred out. I'm like, okay. And then I started explaining it because so one of the manager guys and one of the main guys that was telling me, like, oh yeah, something happened where, they were talking about a problem that she had. And I'm like, yeah, I noticed, she was bringing like her kids to work. And I'm like, okay, well, you can't do that because when you bring your children to work and your children are sitting there and it's not a daycare center.
The generator on the lower level is our goal. That's where you can zap the drive back into sync. Or, implode us all.
Gotta say, it feels strange that you were the one who scouted out the place.
What? I'll have you know, I've got the vision of a bloodwing.
And the stealth of a clomping wildhorn. Remember when you tried to steal a look at Rush's protein bar recipe and literally fell into the pot of...
No, I remember no such thing.
Ready to get your day ruined? Jealous? I do not blame you!
Sorry, I was listening to the commentary of this. So anyway, like, she got talked to in that a couple days ago in that, and then I found out what actually happened that I thought was kind of funny in that, because like she was sitting there.
They really don't like us here, huh? Let's finish this and get back to HQ.
And
If y'all got this
they were
handled,
saying,
I'll
that
stay
she
on
was
comms
being
while I
talked
go
to
give
in
the ship
that,
some love.
and
Try
she
not
kept
to
on
die,
interrupting
or ruin our best chance at getting off
our
Kairos.
manager in that.
In that order.
And I was
As
like,
if
okay,
the
so she
pressure
wasn't listening
weren't
to stuff,
enough
and she was
already.
making up excuses and that.
I need to sit down.
And then at the end of the conversation, she got really fucking emotional and start like pouting, I guess. And I'm just like, oh yeah, so she's one of those ones that's a victim. Like, oh, so temper tantrum. So if she doesn't get what she wants, she fucking gets pissed and starts crying. And I'm just like, yeah. And they're all like, yeah, we're happy that she's not working with us anymore. And I'm like, well, yeah, you guys hire a bunch of fucking pussies, woman or female. They don't want to work, if they do work, they want to work half-ass, and then they're the first ones that cry and play victim, because, you know, the funny thing is, she ended up going into the fucking city, and I said to one of the guys, like, yeah, most of these black people, when they're raised in the city and that, and it's to say they're not raised around other cultural people, like, you know, whites and stuff like that.
No need to repeat them.
Sometimes they just
You know, I
don't
thought we'd
like
have to launch a
being
ship
with
the fear
them.
that it'd never get far enough away to contact anyone.
The
But with
culture's
it close
just
and dry,
different.
now
People
we really
act
have a
different. They
chance.
don't act the
Hold
same.
on. I think we should wait to celebrate until it has charged up
And, like,
safely back at HQ.
that's one thing he
Oh,
says. Like,
it's
yeah,
too
they
late
just
for
don't
that
like
one.
working. Some
Hope
people
is
don't like working with
infectious.
black people.
People can hardly focus around here.
They don't like
That's
working with
right.
black people, just like some
Can't
people
get
just don't
ahead
like
of
working with white people.
Not when the train
It's not
getting
because
North
of the
Kairos is so
stereotype
close.
of, well, racism and not. The cultures are just different. You know, we're not equal. No one's equal. Everybody's different. And yes, is that because of the fucking looks of you? No, you're black. No. It's the culture's just different. People are just different. And I always have to say that, you know, yes, you can be harmonized with people and that, but, you know, some people are just not like that. They have a culture, they have a way of living, so they have to obey that way of living.
Ready for decommission?
And that's just how it is. And that's one of the things that I always have to talk about, because it makes perfect sense. and that's what everybody likes to stream, the whole racist thing, because they always think, well, it should matter, and that everyone should get along, and that, you know, they always want to blame the other opposition. It's never been like that. You just can't work with something. That's just how it is. Like, there's some females that can't work with fucking males because they're very traumatized by their past and by, you know, whatever happens with them. Does that mean that all males are bad? Does it mean that all white people are bad? Does it mean all black people are bad? No, it's just how it is. They're just traumatized by certain things that they're really hard to work with. But when you're just fucking stupid and just a moron and you're a temper tantrum and you're a squat waffle and you do all these stupid things that you can't get what you want, then yeah, that's a fucking problem. Yeah, the problem starts to stand in, you know, like, yeah, you're just fucking stupid.
If only the order
Just do what
protects the
happened is.
people it subjugates as well as it protects its facilities. You can practically set off an alarm by sneezing in here.
Mind turning those things off? Hard to focus over here.
Quit snooping on the call if it's bothering you.
No can do. Sitting in silence is a one-way road to Sad Town.
The alarms triggered a generator shutdown. Obnoxious, but at least we know they have some safety protocols in place. A simple reset should do the trick.
But yeah. It just gets to the point that it's like we try to hire everybody and anybody, but the thing of it is, we really have to stop doing that. If some people want to be hired, they should be hired in the fucking area. Like, hiring people from, like, the city and that, you know, they need jobs too, and I'm like, yeah, I agree, they do, but if they're not complete fucking trash, then yeah, I can get that. But some of these people are complete trash. So, no. You know, it's like people that like live in my area, first off, are not trash for the most part. They actually, you know, they talk the same. They, you know, they don't sit there and do like too much of the stupid shit that, you know, the ghetto crap and that. They, you know, actually have a fucking brain. They don't try to like steal like one of the other chicks talk about and that, you know. You know, we call her, you know, I call her Snaggletooth, but she's just a fucking thief. She's just a thief. She doesn't steal from people. She steals from the company. And it happens little by little, Matt. And it's just like, how about you just don't fucking do it? And they always say, well, I don't have food now. I never have food. What do you mean you never have food now? You're always working. Like, you're here like you're here 5 days a week for like 4 or 5 hours a day. It's like, you should have money, period. You take a bus.
I'm sure the Order has some replacement
Is it
parts on
difficult?
hand.
I'm sure it is.
Playing mechanic, too?
But what the fuck are you doing with all your money then?
So you're aware the launch will only be Conway and a few crew members. It's too much of a risk to send more now. As much as I wish I could join, I can't just leave everyone here to fend for themselves, you know? I know Conway understands, but something seems off. It's like their laughter no longer includes their eyes. Does that make sense? Have they said anything to you?
Not directly, but I think you should chat with him when you can. It is always good to be direct.
I think I understand. Thank you.
Got the parts.
Wonderful. Just need to be slotted into the generator and we're back on track.
And like the other day, Matt, like, actually literally this chick was like walking around and trying to be all like sneaky now, like quickly I gotta make stuff and then do this, do that, like what is wrong with you? It's like we just had a meeting about this shit. We like, are people this fucking like retarded? We literally had a meeting about people fucking
I can definitely
not
still
talking to
hear
people
them.
about taking food home. Like if you
Should've
eat
taken a
at
penny
the
and
job, it's
invested
different
in
than just
it.
taking food home. It's enormously different. Now I'm just sitting there like thinking about this shit. I'm like, how about you just...
Hope the timekeeper kept your warranty. Another fight goes my way.
And like, it blows my mind. I was like, well, you just don't know how to use your money right? Like, what do you stupid crackhead fuckers do now? Like, you're just that stupid? You guys use your money like crap. You're all like, well, why am I homeless? You're homeless because you use your money like shit. You don't want to work. You want to sit there and try to do the thieving way out. It never works. It never works. And people in society always will think, oh, we're all like slaves and shit. What do you mean you're all slaves? You're always gonna have some sort of person you're gonna have to be master to. It's just how it is. Until you make your own fucking business and shit, you're always gonna have someone that's gonna be above you.
You know, I'd convinced myself.
It's not necessarily
I'd never leave
like
Cairo
100% like
or
that.
see
No,
my family
I don't
again.
think it is.
It was
So, like,
easier.
people just
Hope can
try to
be
be crazy now.
emotionally debilitating. But suddenly,
They always want to
it
be
feels good
rich
to
by
hope again.
stealing everybody
You're
else's
feeling
fucking
human
money.
emotion? I'm telling Rush.
Conway,
It's so easy messing with you. But seriously, we've all been sitting with the dread that we never leave. Even Rush. For all his upbeat energy. We're gonna do this. I know it.
to settle things with, now would be the time. Because here comes the potentially catastrophic part.
Cananti is always with me. Together we deal with catastrophe every day.
It's like they heard me be optimistic for once.
Clearing the area before bringing in the unpredictable implosion drive would have been smart. No shot from here. I blame anyone.
Yes. Perhaps I should have included Conway on this at the start after all.
I heard that and recorded it for posterity. Thanks, bud.
I always make time for the little spin.
It's going to defeat it.
Everything looks operational. We have a functioning implosion drive. We're in the clear. No, 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 no. I think it's okay. Phew, my heart sure isn't, but at least it's still beating. Can you do the honors of retrieving the drive? I'd dive down there myself, but I have a thing against, well, emptying the contents of my stomach, surrounded by stuff that likely already resembles the contents of my stomach.
Yeah, this place freaks as though one rotting carcass was stuffed into another rotting carcass. Ah, I just know I am getting gunk all in my crevices down here. Oh, come on!
Oh, it's like this place is trying to get us all blueberried.
Oh, get up! You are fine! Still alive. No implosion. So far, so good. Time to get out of here. Olfactory sensors back on and... Oh, yes.
I knew my plan would work. I'll escort the implosion drive back to HQ. It'll take quite some time for it to be fully installed and operational, though. Rush will get in touch. Oh, the drive is okay, right?
The drive is okay. I am okay. And nothing's exploded. Yes.
Yeah. Wait, that was just a joke, right?
No, no, of course not. In my experience, there is just always another explosion.
Hey, before I forget, I just wanted to say thanks. This is a huge step toward our goal, and it only happened because of your help. Honestly, pinching myself that we actually got this far. Like Rhodes said, it'll take a while to install the drive. We gotta be extra careful with it, but I'll definitely be in touch. Stay safe out there.
Okay, go back to the Outlanders. Anyway, but yeah, like this lady was sitting there and like she kept on being ignorant. She'd never be ignorant towards me, and I'm just like, well, I mean, I look at things from a very different perspective than
Quick
that.
question. After all the hullabaloo, I hate even saying his name in case he's listening, but the timekeeper, is he actually...
Not a bet or a wager in the world that could bring him back.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, baby!
It's true?
Damn right it is!
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I'll spread the word!
Ah, I get it. You thought you hung up on me, right?
Sorry. Sorry, it's just... You know what this means, right? Now there's nothing stopping us from launching our ship. You have to be a part of it. You're the reason we're still here to try, after all. Come see us when you get the chance.
Okay. But yeah, I was like, that shit just kind of drives me insane. You know, it's like having someone that sits there and they're like, I don't know, like they're always like weird towards people and that. Like this chick was cool towards me. Like the other day we actually worked together and she was actually like asking me personally, like what to do and shit. You know, I'm just like, okay. So I gave her some like directives and some orders or whatever the fuck it is. You know. And I always think about like,
Go check it out.
alright, yeah, some people honestly want to listen. Some people don't want to listen. So yeah.
It's time for the launch. When you first showed up saying you wanted to take down
Like, there's
Saul,
always a
I had my
difference.
doubts.
Let me get this over with before we start talking because I like listen to stuff. Well, I'm gonna get up, stand up, move around a little bit. I just woke up. Oh. Well, anyway. So notice that some people just like to listen. They want to listen to someone that actually knows, you know. At least they think that they know what they're talking about. Most times they actually do, but. So I have a couple people, you know, they'll just listen to me. So when I talk about stuff and that, they tend to listen to me and be like, okay, like this and that. Because just like what the Holy Spirit honestly tells us, the Holy Spirit tells us a lot of things. It tells us, you know, like, hey, you know, it's like people are going to want to listen to you. If you talk and that about things that they will listen. That's why we know when Jesus says, you know, when people hear, they can't hear. When what they can see, they can't see. Basically, it's about faith. That people just won't ever understand because they never have faith. Their faith is very low. They intentionally live life by the world's way. They don't understand that life there's a life after you die, which, you know, kind of makes sense because, you know, there's no way that we live this world and that's all that we have. And people can, you know, people obviously say, like, well, you know, how do you know? Everyone has these gut feelings throughout life that there's just specific things that you do that it just makes fucking sense. And knowing that this is not the only life is it's stupid. This is not the only life. When people say it is, then it doesn't make sense. Because, you know, people always say, like, oh, well, these are just religions. These are, they think, like, believing in Jesus is just a hobby. It's not a hobby. It's the truth. It separates so many people when you get into these conversations about these specific things. There's always a huge separation of this. You know, I said, well, until you do it for yourself, you can never know. Yeah, it's God's truth. Until you pray, until you give, you know, until you know, give over your life. It's normally a slow approach. Nothing's never instantaneously. That's not how it works. You slowly start to get into it. You slowly start to notice it. Just like anything else, it takes time to learn. And any older person that knows people like getting into their, you know, like my age and that, get close to their 40s and that, getting close to their 50s, 60s and that, if you don't know that Jesus is God, you're kind of losing out on what life actually is going to be for you. It's never a joke. It's the honest truth. And here's why, you know, people throw themselves into the pit on their own. They don't see things from love perspective. They never do. They see things from a competition perspective, which you can be competitive to a certain degree. There's always, you know, fun competitiveness that builds you stronger. It's like, for instance, man and woman. If God designed man and woman to be attracted to each other, that is a certain, you know, way of saying if a man and a woman are next to each other and they really like each other, that actually makes them stronger. And it does. It's been proven by science. It's been proven by, you know, psychology and that when a man and woman get together and they're like hand in hand in complete harmony, they're way stronger, way more financially savvy. They have more money. They go through all this. But yeah, that harmony is what God wants us to be like to everybody. And can we say that it's difficult? Yeah, because people believe in a lot of different things. The hardest part is to be like, okay, how can you change your life and have everybody be in that harmony circle, just like God is with the angels and just like God is in general with the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Complete harmony. They all love each other so deeply. Matter of fact, it's so deeply that they know nothing can break it because it can't be broken. It's just pure love. And the only time humans actually feel that is when they're babies. And right before they normally die. Why is it always from the beginning to the end? Well, these are just accusations, and these are just percentages. That's how people could be loving and caring their whole entire life. Yeah. And these are the people that the world likes to direct to being different. And who they call people that are different? They call them retards. Now that's autism. They want to name that there's something wrong with them, so they need special attention. There's nothing wrong with them. They do just fine. They don't need your fucking attention. They can grow, they can be taught certain things. But people that are like that, people that are not into sinning, they're kind-hearted by birth. They're great by birth. These people are chosen. They're enormously blessed. These people naturally don't sin. They naturally ask a lot of questions because they don't know. Then you get people that are born into sin, completely born into sin. And that the first thing they do as they get older, and that because of what they're around, they sin automatically when they're kids. Temptation hits them like a fucking brick. So that's why we say a loving family that tries to push sin away to teach their kids, hey, doing drugs is bad. It warps your mind. Don't listen to other people. The Lord is true. He's always been true. Oh, just as true as that fart. The Lord's always going to be like that. We develop this sort of worldly thing from a baby. And that worldly thing corrupts us slowly. It takes our impurities away. How many people say, oh, we got to lose your virginity before high school? Who says that? Who put that in motion? Oh, it's uncool to be pure. I listen to a lot of millennials say this stupid shit because I was born into this stuff. Because that's when pop start coming out and all this, sexual rap and shit. You had the Ushers, you had the T-Pangs, you had all these people talking about going to the club, get drunk, and fucking bitches and shit. And Usher's all trying to be all romantic with his words and that, and sleeping with a bunch of girls and shit. And nowadays, it's very intuitive. They're very heavy with it until people stop listening to it. And now we have podcasts. We have people like Fit and Fresh. We had Andrew Tate kind of bringing this stuff up in that, talking about what it is to be a man. Being a man is not having a bunch of fucking damn money. Okay? Being a man's not just aiming for absolute fucking power. You can do what you want to do with your power, that's fine, but you have to respect it. Being a man is not about being what the world is the best of. Being the top 10% people in the world, making an enormous amount of money in that, having all these worldly luxuries in that. You're aiming for heaven on earth. That is a fucking loser. You sacrifice so much. You sin so greatly. And then you get pride. And how many times Jesus talks about rich people have the hardest time showing humility. It doesn't mean that they can't. They have a very difficult time doing it because they're possessed by pride and greed, and they believe having that power is something that they cling on to because they're afraid. They're afraid of losing all of it. So they cling on to it to make more. And they talk about it. And if you go as of today, they're clinging on it hard. These people are like, oh, I'm billionaires now, Like, I'm nothing against any of these people. All these rich people and that. But when you look at how they rule the world and that, they want to rule the world based upon their pride. But they lie. And they lie a lot. Matter of fact, they lie so much. Not all the time. But I would say certain ones lie absolute. And then they start creating struggles. Like, for instance, I'm a flat earther. Everyone knows how rockets fly. We see them fly in an arch. A lot of times, they say they go, 25,000 miles an hour. In a big old clunky fucking thing that weighs like hundreds of tons. It's clunky. It doesn't make any fucking sense. People believe that if they fire that rocket off, they fire it off. It goes at an angle. It always falls back down. And then a lot of people don't know that there's never anyone on the fucking rocket in the first place. It's all stage left type shit where they show them walking in there and they go, and they want to say these like astronauts are heroes. Heroes for what? And then you look at the bio of these people. They're all retarded. Like none of them are actually like that intelligent. They're like celebrities and shit, or they're like just people that got picked up. People really believe in this shit. God warns us of this stuff. He warns us of the lies. He warns us of the pushback. How many people believe that the Earth's round? Well, you're living a fucking lie. This shit's fucking a complete lie. And people fall in line with it. So when you fall in line with that lie, and you refuse to know the truth, even though you see the truth in the Bible, and you hear it when it talks to you, but you really don't see it and you really don't hear it because you don't believe it. Disciples have kind of already, the 12 disciples of Christ, and I kind of already kind of noticed that when they ask a lot of questions to that, they always ask questions like, oh, show us God. He's like, I am He. Like, okay. Well, and then, they kept on doing these things that Jesus kept on talking to them saying, hey, it's like, if you don't go by, saying, you don't believe in me for, who I am, as in like, it's very obviously He's God because He does miracles and that. Then He says, go by my works. I healed that. He brought Lazarus back to life and that. He done all these enormous miracles, and only God can do these things. And He always kept on saying, when He healed the person that couldn't walk, and He told him, I forgive your sins. And the Pharisees were there, and He said, how can anyone forgive sins but God? And Jesus looked at him like, because I am God. And they're all like, oh, no, you can't be God. The scriptures are literally pinpoint. From Ezekiel to Isaiah, they literally are telling you about Christ, the coming of God. And it keeps on telling them that. And then people, don't want to hear. They hear, but they don't want to hear it. It's like literally those specialty words He says, hear but can't hear, see but can't see. He says it doesn't matter if Christ is on the mount speaking. People are going to think, oh, He's just a preacher. But what if He is God? That's like the question to put in your head. What if He is the absolute truth of our Creator? Or He is the Creator? I mean, that's immaculate. Like, why were we not doing this? How did we not see this? There's more and more proof. The shroud of Christ was an imprint of Jesus being fucking resurrected. That's literally what the shroud of Jesus is. It's the most holiest thing that we have. Is literally the image of God in a old nylon, whatever it was made out of, type of cover. A cloth cover. And when people analyzed the shroud, they said it was literally billionths of a second. Billionths of a second. What the fuck is a billionth of a second? To comprehend that, it was so much energy, so fast, that nothing can compare to it. And then people said it's the first selfie of God. The shroud is for us to remember His face, to remember what He looks like throughout history. Because Christ always tells us to vision Him in our heads. To vision Him. To actually see Him. Not all these imitations. And I get people, want to act and be Jesus and that because they do that stuff because they love Christ. They want to reiterate the Bible so people can go to the Bible now. But sometimes when you do that stuff, that people want to look at, people that used to play Jesus. No, you look at actual Jesus. He's an Arab man. He looks Arab as fuck. He was tan. He had a little bit dark complexion and that. He had long hair. He looked like a normal human being. But it was God. But people want to interpret certain things, and that's fine. I guess it's really hard to not notice that. Look up the Shroud of Christ and really look at Jesus. Just thinking about his actual face, just thinking about him, demons flee. Just thinking. Hey, I don't need to make this shit up because I know it works because I do it for myself, and it's completely mind blowing that we don't see the truth at all. People are blinded by this, and like how the Holy Spirit works through what Jesus says. The Holy Spirit works. It always pushes the love out. It pushes the love out. So when you're around people in that, and you're a very joyful, happy person, that you don't let things bother you. You know temptation. You push away from temptation because you know it's unmoral. You got God with you. God's always with you if you're like that. God's not with everybody. No. Does God love everybody? Yes. Does he hate people because they sin? Absolutely hates sin. And this is where people start to divide. Like, well, if God hates sin, why did he get rid of it? Because of free will. And they say, well, why do you create free will? Because you can't love without it. And they always ask these questions that I say, you keep asking these questions because you want to know. That means that you just don't believe. You don't understand because you don't believe. Our nature is about belief. Like I said, I won't go like this. Ever since I was young, I had Jesus. I always had no God in my heart because I felt it. I felt to do the good things. And that's how I was raised. But as I started growing into a teenager, start being an adult, and that the world grabbed me. You know, I enjoyed video games. I put my creativity in that, and being creative is what God wants us to do. To be creative in that, because He's a creator. He's creative. That's how He created everything. The spark of creativity is like, But the more we get into these things, the more it's like, okay, how can we understand them? Well, God gives us the tricks in the Bible through all the people, all the saints, King Solomon, King David, Saint Paul. There's many of other saints out there that reach actual saint, thing, and the most times reaching actual sainthood is being enormously fucking humble. And it's not that people that live life now that aren't like this, but it's a very huge chance that people normally have a huge problem with getting there. He tells us to follow him. That means you believe in him 100%. First thing he states. That's why he always with disciples in that. He talks to him as he's bringing them in. They start doing stuff in that, and he tells like Thomas or other ones, and he says, "You still don't believe in me, even though I show you all this stuff." And he already knows because he can read. Well, he knows everything, so he basically knows what they're going to say. And one of the people that started realize that was Simon Peter. He's like, "You already know what I'm going to say," and like he's like, "Yeah, I do, but I still want you to say, because you don't know what the answer is to the question that you have. I can only tell you that answer." And Simon, that became Peter, was probably the most devout disciple. And all the rest of them became more devout than that. But there's a reason why that Peter, a ruffian, a fisherman, a ruffian that got beat up and that did gambling and stuff like that, became a saint. Because he saw the truth. He saw, just imagine how many people use Jesus as a way of making money or doing stuff, and they say, well, he blessed me with this and that. I'm like, the blessings like this and that, does God bless people with riches? Yeah, but the whole point of this, is the world and the worldly things don't matter. We do things to survive because it's just in nature. Animals do it all the time. That's why it's good to watch animals. Animals every morning, you get certain kind of animals come out. You have like around my area, you have rabbits, squirrels, and birds. The rabbits play with the squirrels, and the birds never fly away because of the rabbits being there. The rabbits can bounce around a bird, and the bird instantly knows the rabbit is in harmony with them. Because in nature, instinct is a harmony thing. They know that they're not going to get killed. So they don't fear the rabbits. They don't fear the squirrels. I see them bounce around each other now. Completely different species of animals, but they're in harmony. Why? Because they're instinctually cannot do these things. And animals naturally can't sin. They're naturally not sinners. They were never created to sin, period. Because it's not to say that they don't have free will. They do to a certain extent because they have feelings. But their instincts are, they live off of very low intelligence. To a certain extent, they only follow what they follow. Doesn't mean they're not. Doesn't mean they don't know things. They do, but they don't live long enough. Honestly, most animals barely live that long. You know, and that's what it is. They live shorter lives than us. So more or less likely, I don't think most animals can even, get that much more intelligent than what they already born. When they're born, they kind of just get their instinctual intelligence, and then that's it. They know signals. It's like, oh my god, something's happening. Got my beginning sneezes. But anyway, so like the more that we look at these type of things now, that's why when you watch animals now, animals are always, like some animals as they get older, they become more senile, they become more aggressive. Like I got two dogs now. They're always happy. They're always happy around people now. They're very curious. They're very, if they don't know something that they'll like we got a new dog that's super playful. Super playful in that, because the way we got her that they caged her in that, and she was just like, I want to run, I want to play with everything, and that's what she does. She runs, she plays everything, and every morning I get home from work and that she always knows when I get home and that. She's always like seeing out the window that when she hears me like walking down the street, she'll pop her ears up in that, and then she'll look outside and she'll see me, and then a lot of times that she'll come straight downstairs and she'll sit there and she'll climb on me with her big sharp claws and kind of scratch me a little bit, and I'm like, oh, let me get my clothes off and that, I need to get in the shower and that. And she's sitting her big old eyes and then, I give her some love and that. She gives me little kisses and that. She's happy that I'm home, which means that she's instinctually in love with me to a certain extent that she wants to give that love every time she sees me, every time I wake up. And when she hears you go upstairs, instantly there. Both of them do it. They just did it today. I went upstairs. They both follow me downstairs, and they're both just sitting there. I'm petting them and stuff like that. You know, and that's what it is. Did you ever go home and see your wife or girlfriend and be like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you, baby." Give her a hug and some kisses and that, and she's all like, "Oh, I'm happy that you're home and that. I'm slightly worried about you." See, I don't think people do that anymore. I think people just get home and like, oh man, it's been a long day at work. Kick your boots off, take a big old dump, and then might probably take a shower and that, and then probably go out to eat or some stupid shit like that, and then go home, probably watch some Netflix and go to bed. Just imagine the harmony if you had, like an instinct of an animal. People used to be like that before technology got high. Technology made us dumber. We don't want to say it made us dumber. It made us love dumber. Like, like say my routine that I don't mind watching movies and that. Every once in a while, I want to lose into something. I want to, but the one thing that we lost because of technology is simple facts of wanting to be harmonized with people. We can do it. We say, well, we can do it on a global basis. That, but we don't need to do it on a global basis. You do it based upon where you live at. This is where the problem comes in. People go on these date sites and that want to get relationships and all that shit. And that they don't understand that they're trying to harmonize with people all over the world and people that don't live next to you and that. It's like, you know, You know, like I say, like for me, my relationship, you know, issues and that, or whatever issues that might occur, I see gorgeous women all over the place, super attractive women. Matter of fact, there's a girl in the condominium that's a mother, not a mother, but her mother lives there, but she just moved in a little while ago. Super hot. She's like 19, gonna be 20. I never talked to her, or maybe see her a couple times, and I maybe waved at her or something like that when she drove by. That, but every time I go to work, and I, you know, every once in a while she'll drive. You know, she'll be driving home for whatever she's doing, and I wave or nod. Most likely, I nod. Well, the other day, I nodded her. She gave me a huge fucking smile, and it was instinctual. It was like she was, oh, he's noticed me. It's not because I noticed her. It's because she saw me before multiple times and that she possibly is attracted to me. So a blushy smile is a woman telling a man that they're attracted because it's spontaneous. That means they're happy to see you. That means they're interested. That means they want something from you because they might hear something. And when people talk about other people, and especially them type of things and that, more or less likely they're all like, oh, I'm curious now. Curiosity gets the best of them, then they want to converse even more. Because I talk to her mom a lot. I see her mom every now and again. She's got a cute little dog in that. Well, it's a medium-sized dog. And, you know, I play with the dog in that, you know, and the dog jumps on me and that, and I'm playing with the dog and that, scratches, you know, be back and that, you know, stuff like that. You know, it gives me kisses and that and stuff. So I show mass affection towards the dog. You know, I talk to her and that, but I don't show her a lot of affection. Because I'm like, well, I mean, you're just. Everyone always goes to the pet. And, like. And I have to say, you know, like, well, yeah. Because in nature, you know, I would say most dogs that are not tormented or not complete, you know, they get, you know, tormented in that. They normally are very loving creatures. And so I'm just curious if this person, you know, the mom talks to the daughter about me, or the daughter asks questions because she sees me around every now and again. And I'm just curious. Is this the next person I'm going to get close to? Because I'm starting to see the attractions there, and I'm starting to see it. She's a gorgeous young lady, man. She's extremely beautiful in that. You know, she's got, you know, a really nice body. But the thing of it is, she seems to be kind of traditional in that because, you know, she's working, she's going to college and that. You know, her mom's saying all this stuff and that about her and that. You know, saying, you know, she's very happy for what she does and that. I'm like, that's good. She's keeping her mind busy. You know, he said she's keeping her mind busy. You know, and I never see her like have a shit ton of friends. That well, she just moved here, so you know, most likely she's probably just here just to go to school and that and get her stuff and that, or whatever could happen to that. You know, most likely probably has daddy issues to a certain extent. I guess I don't know. And I'm just, you know, I'm always curious about the stuff from that. Like personally, I never walk into a situation and throw my stuff around too much. Unless I'm not attracted to someone. If I'm attracted to someone, I normally try to keep it quiet and slowly build stuff up. It's not how it's always been. If a woman has a boyfriend now, which they always think, most likely always fucking do, because they attract that multiple guys. It gets to the point that I'm like, well, I can't sit there and I have to be very selective on things. And I hate being to where a woman's gonna, you know, break up with her man because they feel like, oh my god, relationship's so bad. And they make up all these excuses because they're like, well, you're just hotter than him, so I want to be with you because you're more attractive. I said relationships are not by the looks of a person. Looks matter to a certain extent. People look the way they look. It's the harmony with that person. You know, and especially if you live a certain lifestyle that you say that other person doesn't live, and you're trying to mimic that lifestyle. Well, guess what? Guess who told us about this shit? Jesus did. Jesus told about women. Women like to mimic. You know, if they want lust, they'll mimic your personality. They'll mimic what you say. They'll mimic what you watch. They'll mimic what you read. They'll mimic all the stuff in that because they want you to try to be They want to be in love with you by imitating you. And when women start to imitate a man, they're highly attracted. That means they're probably thinking about him, probably masturbating to him. They're doing all these things because they know that man, they want to get dicked by that man. Is that to say, that people don't do that and never fall in love? Of course not. It's just not how it works. But that's how we, as humans, we kind of lost that harmony with other humans because of the how like high sexualization the world is. People want to think about that sexualization. That they don't want to think about accomplishing things. They don't want to think about I'm gonna get a better job in that because I need to accomplish more things that I want to enjoy my life more and that That's why the Word of God is so important because it actually guides us towards you know learning how to show humility. Like money doesn't matter. I always say, and I'll say it a billion trillion times. If I had, say, Elon Musk money, for instance, people would say how great that person is. And no, the dude's a complete cop out. He's the actual, he speaks truth to a certain extent. But to think that these people are the controllers of the world, well, who gives them all this money? And you're gonna say, well, okay, well, someone has to be higher up to give them money. It's like, oh, well, they made good deals and they made this, they did this, they did that. Yeah, they must bought the patents to Tesla and used Tesla to make his money off of a dying man, well, a dead man now, but and start inventing stuff in that. And every single time you look at these situations, these men were smart because they took a chance. But when you look at is Elon Musk the actual creator of Tesla? He actually built the fucking cars? No, his engineers did. He was just a byproduct of it. How much fakery do we have out there? A lot. And Jesus warned us about it. The saints warned us about it. So the devil's going to make you think something, but it's not going to be true. The only truth that we have is the love that we have for each other as humans. People know when they're in love, their heart starts to pound. They start to get tingly feelings in their stomach and that. They call it a harmony. It's a harmony effect. It's like I feel that every now and again too. Like talk about one of the girls I keep working at. She's in her she's like 21 or 22 or something like that. I saw her one day. She came in that. I mean, honestly, I would never think that she was super hot because honestly, I look at a lot of girls and that, and they only have nice bodies now, and they're all fucking attractive. When they're like, because they're all in this routine of wanting to eat better and get healthy and that, and get thicker butt cheeks and stuff like that. They always want to look fucking good. That's a good thing. That's a good sign. Things are changing. And like, it was the smile of her, and it was the interest in her eyes that drove me to have butterflies as an old man. No, not fucking young. 36, gonna be 37 next year. I'm close to my 40s. This person's 21, 22. But it wasn't because I was attracted to her like sexually. It was because I was attracted to her happiness, to her joy. Like she was contently happy. She was laughing a lot. The energy was high. There was joyfulness. And when she gave me that love by smiling at me and and looking at me and that, like getting eye to eye contact with me, it was a felt of harmony. It literally was just like it was when I took a nap with my ex and we were in complete harmony. Same effect. I didn't worry about anything. All I was thinking about is her. I was thinking about, you know, this is beautiful. We're sleeping together and that. It was complete harmony. That is what we're missing on. So when I saw this, like, this was a couple months ago, that I haven't seen her since, and it felt so good Because the eyes and the smile and that. Oh no, I did see her after that. No, but I haven't seen her in a while. And like when I finally actually did talk to this lady, this young lady, we were in drive-through and that, and I went up there and I talked to her and she's, she's like, oh hey, it's you, They said, oh I know you type stuff and that. It wasn't because she was attractive, not that I don't know that she was or not. I'm probably maybe. But she was very happy, very, talkative in that. And she was just sitting there. I asked her, like, oh, did you just get off work and that? She's like, oh, no. She's like, oh, I was dancing and that. She's very active. She likes to dance and that, at the club and that. And I was like, okay, it's like, the first thing I said is like, oh, you do it for the boys and that. She's like, no, I'm not. I really don't care. I just like the dance. And I'm like, oh, okay. But, the boys are always going to follow you around that because, basically say that she's attractive and that. And she was just like, don't worry about me. She like stuck her tongue out. It was like playing, like, she was being sweet and being, slightly charming in that, but it was a nice thing. It's a very attractive thing. And I'm just like, well, I mean, yeah. It's like, but boys will be boys. You're a very attractive woman. Not a lot of these guys, because I live with a lot of Muslim-based men, and not all of them are the same. The Bosnians are evidently a lot more different than the Arabs, than the Pakistanis and the Afghanis and all that stuff and that, because Bosnians are not actual like Muslims. Honestly, they were put into that position. But yeah, all of Middle East wasn't like this. All Middle East was put into Islamic regime, type faith. They were forced into it by their death cult. So they're not even the actual people that, follow the Quran, honestly, because most of them don't. They only follow certain parts of it, which is absolutely a pointless religion. They only follow certain points of it. But anyway. And no, I want to see her again. Is that because she's hot? I mean, she is. She's very attractive. And she knows it. It's very obvious. But because she's happy. She makes me happy. She's very joyful. Now, is relationship material? No, I don't think it is. But I'm happy. I enjoyed it. Will relationship ever spark? Probably not. I don't think so. Because people like to go out clubbing and that, I don't care for that. I think it's a waste of money. I'm a Netflix and chill type person. I think it's the easiest and safest way to be. Because it's just, to me, it's just like, I have so much entertainment at home. you know. But then, as I take that information that I just said and I put upon this new lady down the street, this new young lady, she gave me the same kind of vibe. Like, she gave me that bright, blushy smile and that, I just nodded at her. So, like, okay, I'm just like, I nodded at her and that. And to me, that's what youthful people are. They actually show actual fucking emotion automatically. They're very smiley. They blush a lot. They get super flirtatious and that. Well, they're young and that. Well, they are, but it's because they're not sinning so damn much. As you get older and that, Jesus talks about, people sin enormously more. And they never can be their actual self because they lie in their sin for so long. And most people with pride, which a lot of people have pride, they don't repent their sins. And it's really hard to do it. But honestly, Jesus, have mercy upon me. Always have mercy upon me. I know I'm stupid. That's what being humble is. Showing humility is to know that you're fucking dumb. To know that you can be weak. It's not to say you need to be weak all the time and just not do nothing. No. He says that you are weak. Compared to just the angels around us. And absolutely compared to our Creator. Is that people want to think our worldly power means something. That we have power. They're trying to say, just like Satan tries to do. He tries to rebel. He wants to be in heaven. He wants to take over God. But he knows that he can't. But it doesn't mean he doesn't try. But the thing of it is, he did try. When the angels fought and Michael sent him to earth, Jesus said, I saw him fall like thunder, or lightning. He fell like lightning to the earth. And that's when humans fell with him. Even Adam and Eve didn't see God in his glory. They knew God existed, but they knew him. They knew how harmony was in that, but like, just like anything else in that, they weren't imprinted with knowledge of him. They learned by interacting with him, having a relationship with him. Because the biggest thing is always a relationship. So if you have a relationship with someone that you always talk to them, you get to know them, and that you start to build up slowly something to get to know them, and that's how you slowly, if you're want a relationship in that. If you're a man, you slowly get to know a girl, you're eventually going to fall in love with them. Doesn't mean you're in love with them, it means you're falling in love with them. It means your heart's starting to recognize theirs. Your spirit starts connecting, and you start connecting dots. Hence the reason why some people are attracted to people. It's not because of just looks alone. That's stupid. If you never talk to a very attractive woman, you just look at her and you just get hard in that. Yeah, that's your instinctual telling you to just, well, you want to release. You want to just feel good because she turns you on. So when vice versa with a woman with a man, them are like the simple pleasures. The in-depth pleasures is the love that you create with the conversation, with getting to know the person that, like touching them. Even, taste, that's why we kiss. Kiss is a harmony thing of, tasting someone else that you love's flush, their saliva, you integrate with each other. That's why we do those things. People think they're like, well, kissing might be disgusting, but the thing of it is, that's integration. I made out with plenty of women in my life in that. We always integrate. Like making now, rubbing tongue to tongue together now. That's full on integration, and it shows, and it stimulates you to the extent of being together. That's why we do those things. Hence, that's why God made women have vagina holes and guys have cock and balls, and why we integrate ourselves for the feeling that's the most pleasure in the world, which is sex. But without love, there's really no intimacy. It's just lust, because it's just the tip of the iceberg of pleasure is just lusting. Just saying, oh, I'm just going to get myself off. But the harmony is never there because people don't want it to be there. They keep pulling back. And I know this because I see younger women are like this. I see younger men are like this. They only think about lust. For instance, there's a guy that, he comes on my channel every now and again. I used to work with him a lot. He used to have a girl that actually loved him. She was very traditional, and she was still a virgin that. And he refused her. And I'm like, why'd you refuse her? And he's like, well, Luke, I don't know. And that, because she never wanted to give out. She wanted to wait till marriage. I'm like, that's the woman that's going to give out. Don't you stupid fucking men understand? Young men are fucking retarded. I said, you're retarded, bro. I was like, I take her in a heartbeat. I've seen the way she looked in that. She's a very pretty, beautiful girl in that. I'm just like, are you serious, bro? Like, them are the type of girls, though, like, once you get married to them, they're gonna fuck you day and night. It's not gonna be a one-night stand. It's not just a fast food go. It's a whole fucking buffet for the rest of your life that you can get into, and you guys grow together. And eventually sex becomes a side thing because you guys love each other so much that just being with that person is enough. We don't think anything through because we only see the simple pleasures of life. But when you fully harmonize with someone, you actually fully, deeply love them, and you get married to them, you secure your fate with them, you become one with them, you integrate with them 100%. You both know each other's flaws, you both know the good and bad about each other, but you harmonize to make things better for each other. And that's the true pleasures of life, is that love that you build. I know a lot of people say, like, back in the 90s, we had a lot of older people that, you know, were born in, like, 1900 and shit. Like, 1900, 1910. And, you know, they were starting to die out back in, you know, in the 80s and the 90s and that. And these people, some of them were such in love with their spouse. And it had nothing to do with sex. They just loved being with them. They say, yeah, we had our fun when we were younger and that, but as they get older together and that, they start to harmonize more. Sex becomes something that should never exist in a relationship that much. Because there's other things that give you the same dopamine rush. That's the trick. At first, yeah, people fuck like rabbits. It's just how it is. Even an older man like myself, I don't mind it. It's not to say I don't like it. Of course I do. You know, who doesn't like sexual intercourse and that? The thing is, I don't look at it from that perspective anymore. I see things differently because I want to love. I want to harmonize. That's one of the things with my ex and that. Like, I want to harmonize with her, but she refused the harmony. All she wanted to do is do simple pleasures. Simple pleasures. But when we had our harmony moment, it felt good. But she rejected the love. I'm like, why are you rejecting something that gives you more pleasure than drugs and sex? And they never even know why. First off, because you're fucking stupid. You don't understand, because God gives us the power to understand through the Bible and understand that He's telling us how to live life. He's telling us I created you, so I know completely how loving you can be, but you keep refusing my love. Hence the reason why people don't fall in love anymore. They keep on refusing the love. Love is complete harmony with the person, female and male, with God, complete harmony. You know, people say, "What about the homosexuals?" What about the homosexuals? They're doing one of the gravest sins of all sins, is banging other dudes. They're massively sinful. Now, are they bad people? No. Are they prideful? Bulk of them are. If not all of them are, because they do something that every religion says to not do. It's not because you're going to hell when you do such things. It's never been about that. When Jesus speaks about sin, He says you are going to sin no matter what. People say to be a saint, to be completely pure, is never going to happen. You can, but you'd have to be docile. You have to be away from society. All the saints drifted away. They lived in huts in the middle of fucking nowhere. They never lived with society that much because they knew society, the power struggle of being in society, that corrupts people. Like today in America. America's spoiled. We're so spoiled that we corrupt ourselves. Look at the kids. They're stupid. Like dumb. Like borderline fucking retarded stuff. They can't critically think. They run around smoking weed all day. This is my medicine. They get lazy. They get docile. And then they fuck up their lives. They fuck everything. And then they want to say, well, why is my life messed up in my 30s and 40s? I had so much fun. Like, you can have fun without sinning. You can have fun without being a fucking moron. When you're a kid, you have fun playing with dirt. But as a young adult, you have fun by being a massive sinner. Drinking and fucking, and they rely on this shit. One of the guys I work with in that. Because I see things way clearly than I used to a year or so ago. One of the guys I work with in that. We're kind of in an army together. We laugh at each other now. We're kind of the same person. He likes drinking. I said, the reason why you guys like drinking is you guys can't cope with the truth. You know the truth's there, but you refuse to cope with it. Hence the reason why you do those things. They make up enormous amount of excuses. The first excuse people say is like, well, everyone has a vice. What the fuck do you mean? See, well, everyone has something, like, you know what it is? Everyone has something they believe in that they go to, but it's false. If you don't go to Christ, you're not going to the truth. You go to falsehood. Just as simple as that. It's not like God, it's not like you can't be drunk and believe in Jesus. Yeah, people get drunk all the time and praise Christ. You should. People eat food and praise Christ. You should. People walk around, see the beautiful sky and sun. That's God. God made all that shit for our stupid asses. Like, if you think about it like that, humanity's retarded. Not even the fact that, like, actual, like, autism retarded. We're just stupid motherfuckers. We're so dumb. Because we don't see what's going on. So we shuttle in our houses. We go on our TVs. We get our internet. We play our games. The stuff I do now and that. But we really don't see the harmony of it. I hear the birds outside. That's why a lot of times I quit playing my game and I talk about this stuff. Because to me, we need to get out this word of harmony, love, cherishing each other, looking for Jesus and try to follow him the best we can. You're gonna fall. Failure is always an option because it always happens. That's what it is with people now. People don't want to fail. That's one thing. People think that love doesn't exist because they don't believe in God. That's another thing. That's the biggest thing, honestly. You talk, that's like, why does God want evil? And God didn't make evil. When God created humans, just to say, the angels, they had free will. They're the ones that despise. Lucifer's the one that despises us. He said, why do you create such weak things in your image? We're powerful and mighty angels. As humble God is, he explained to Lucifer. He told all the angels, you will love them like I love you. And most of the 2/3 of the angels agree. That's why angels of heaven actually love us. They watch over us. They sit there and they're always there for us. And they know that. That's why I say, some angels actually weep when we die. Because, it's just a natural thing. Because they have the natural emotion because they're with God all the time. We used to have it when we're babies. But as you grow older now, you become very numb to these things. Because you start looking at, well, I don't have time for this. I got to work. I got to make money. They say, like the other day in that, one of the guys that I work with that, he's actually harmonized. I think he really believes in Jesus. I think he's, he doesn't talk about it a lot in that. And he's like, well, I'm kind of skeptical about the Bible. And I say, I don't believe the whole Bible in that. And I said, well, you should because it's the truth. But one of the things that gets to him, dude has a great heart. I came up there with some homeless people outside and that. He's like, oh, I'm going to make some food for them and that. And I said, yeah, let's do it. Well, what are they going to do, fire us? We're the only people that work this fucking job, so they can't do nothing. We're one of the best workers of this job for the overnight and that. So, I end up, he started making food and that, and I finished in that. He just wanted to order them like 2 tacos. I ended up getting like 5 or 6 tacos. It was 5 tacos. I said, well, fuck it, let's give it to him. I don't give a shit. Like, fire me. Given to people that have actual issues. Sometimes now, they're beggars and that, but then he told me a story about himself. He said, yeah, the taco that I was living close to that, they didn't care that I stayed there. They would still, like, feed me all day and that, because first off, he respected them. And second off, he was very nice and clean up his stuff and all that stuff and that. He showed respect. He showed love. And so they show love back. That's how it works. And I understood that. Because the honest truth is we don't know. And this guy's actually shown me this. Not all homeless people are crazy, possessed crackheads. Sometimes, just like Jesus did in the Bible now, when he found people that demons and that, they're all fucked up and shit. He released them. He unpossessed them. He exorcised them.
He gave him massive love, because he is love. So when you see that you do that in real time, when you feel that your heart, I said to him, I was like, when you feel that your heart is pounding, you want to do something to help an old lady out or to do something, yeah, that means God's with you. When you refuse to do things like that, that's just saying that God's pointing you towards being good. That means the Holy Spirit's with you. Have anyone ever felt like that? That's God. You say, well, that's just good moral. No, that's not good moral. That's literally God. That's how the Holy Spirit works. Holy Spirit guides you with feelings. Just to say, like, how do you find the one that you're with? How do you find someone that you want to be, in love with and stuff like that? Well, your heart tells you. Like, I got butterflies with the chick at work, and that when that I never talked to her, barely at all. I probably said hi to her once before I actually got a conversation with her. She gave me huge butterflies. That was God telling me, like, you're highly attracted, and the thing of it is, it could be a trick too, because succubus do the same thing. So God warns us. But the harmony was there. Her beauty went from like, oh, she's a pretty girl and that, because it's really not, to like, yeah, I want to breed with her. Like, that's literally how it was. Completely like uprising, like, damn, she's extremely attractive, and like it was mind numbing. Because when it happened, I couldn't stop looking at her. Like, I kept looking at her when she was sitting down there. Like, my heart was pounding still. I still felt the butterflies. And then when she left, it started to calm back down. I felt like complete harmony with this woman. And the thing is, I never really talked to her at all until like a month later. I had a conversation with her. And then when I had a conversation with her, she's like, oh, I go to the club and that. And like, that's a fucking turnoff. That's why I asked her, like, you go to the club, they get, what, to find mental and shit and that? And she's really attractive, so I doubt she, obviously. But I'm used to that. I gotta ask the questions. Because she's always alone. She never had friends with her. So it's telling me that she probably has daddy issues. And she wants attention by dancing and being stupid. Doesn't mean that she wants to get fucked. I don't know what else I don't. But that's what it is. She wanted attention. And like... Ooh. I go, bro, you would give me a pizza. Buy me a pizza. I'm getting old. 10:30. Okay, they're open. Yeah, last time I got a pizza from them, they did from Donald's. They didn't spread the dough out right, so the dough was really like thin in the middle. It was kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do today. Yeah, I apologize, guys. I always gotta move around that. What the fuck is this? Oh, it's a 420 thing. It says 50% off of all menu price pizzas. Menu price. No, that's not. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go and play this for a bit. Confirm. I do like their wings a lot. They do got really good wings. Sweet mango habanero. Honey barbecue. Their honey barbecue is actually really fucking good. Oh, sweet mango habanero. That's gonna be hot. Let's do honey barbecue. Maybe 16 piece. Okay. I do like their pastas a lot. $58 for like a $80 order. I think it's my number. It's 95.43. Cool. I do like technology. It does make things easier now, but the thing about this technology makes things easier. So I saved $13. They just opened up. I gotta submit my fucking order. I hate when it takes forever to submit. Anyway. Oh, fuck.
But you turned
Okay.
all those doubts to hope. Or more like you
Took the hope we had and proved it was worth holding on to all this time. We called ourselves the Outbounders, so we'd always remember our dream. To leave Kairos. Since we've only got the one ship, this launch will just be Conway and a small crew. But I have total faith that they'll make contact out there and return with other ships to help us all achieve that dream. And every one of them will get a fresh batch of the best protein bars in the galaxy.
We're almost ready, Vault Hunter. Conway has my toolbox, though. You mind grabbing it from him? I'm sure they'd love to say hello, too.
You submit yet?
If you see them, something was off with Conway earlier. I think they're nervous about the launch. Not that I blame them, of course.
You do not seem too scared. Are you holding it together?
Staying here and waiting for their return is easy. Conway has the hard job. They're the only one who can fly the ship. Not to mention the pressure of actually reaching someone out there. I just hope they're doing okay.
Well, yeah. Just, what if... No, it won't. It can't. It just... Oh, hey. Probably tired of waiting for his tools, huh?
Yeah, I like her voice. She
They're
sounds
here.
attractive as fuck.
Conway, you seem a bit low energy. What is wrong?
Something good is happening, but why do I feel... sick? It's like my body is fighting itself, even though everything we've wanted is finally here. How does that make sense?
Oh, but it does make sense. Excitement and anxiety are nearly indistinguishable on a biological level. You just have to breathe through it.
Thanks. Already feels a bit better just saying it out loud.
Getting out of my head for a sec.
Hey, so these Rippers either want their implosion drive back or really don't want us to leave, because they're headed for the ship.
And what's better at getting you out of your head than Rippers? You can bring those tools back, right? I'll get the rest of the crew to the ship.
Rush, I am on my way to deliver Rhodes' tools while Conway is gathering the rest of the crew.
You were fast. Is Conway doing okay?
Definitely better than they were.
Glad to hear it. And thanks. Feels like there's a whole lot going wrong, but we'll push through it. We always do.
This guy's fucking people up.
But in vain.
If you have my tools, I could definitely use them.
Yeah.
This gun does really good with all that dance damage I got.
Excellent. Give it here.
Great job. They'll handle the repairs, but we need you fighting again, because we got more Rippers incoming.
Temporary retreat.
We ain't come this far to die now.
And this is a mild one, isn't it? I got that. Oh, I never used Alice. I think it's not submitting it at all. Yeah, there's something wrong with the submission thing. Oh. There it goes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think something happened with the cutter core wasn't injected right.
I don't know if we can protect the ship much longer. We might have to launch during the attack, but we can't do that without Conway here.
That's I thought. They were going to gather the rest of them. I will find them.
This fucker explodes really fucking big. Yeah, this gun does not shoot straight. It's got this ridiculous amount of kills, so.
Ha! Ready to roll the dice? You gave up your life for so little.
It's one-shots them.
Conway, do not worry. I will get you to the ship. Nancy did not favor you. Slowing down. Now along.
This gun takes like over 100,000
Today,
rounds.
your run comes to an end.
Whee!
That is the way the dice roll.
I'm liking this gun a lot.
A phalanx ready to start. You don't even have arms.
Ooh, fuck. Damn. Maybe for pizza guns I can pick out.
Thanks for that.
I have a 420 discount on
for
pizzas. 50% off. That's
And
awesome.
all the other stuff. Wow. Wow. Do we ever owe you? I think I'm
You know
ready
what's so
now.
funny is when people do the whole like discount thing,
I,
they make like 4 times as much money.
I hope this isn't goodbye forever.
I just find that very interesting.
But if it is, make sure to keep Bug and Rush for me. Yeah?
Okay.
I will. Good luck out there, Conway. Say hello to space for me.
Did you see that? They're shooting rockets at the ship. Who taught them how to use those? No pressure, but if they damage the ship and, in turn, the implosion drive, well, need I remind you of the extreme danger in doing so? Nope, I think we're all pretty aware of what's at stake here. Take down anyone wielding those rockets. We can't have come this far to lose everything now. One down. We're all good over here. Get rid of the others.
Yes, I slipped apart.
No, he does like over 100 fucking thousand.
I said out! Why?
That was the last of them. We better move fast before we find out they have another
Too much energy for that.
Ship's fully repaired and Conway and the others are on board. Not exactly
The launch we had planned, but it is a launch.
We will get them up in the air. That is all that matters.
And exhale. Whew. Think we're clear. Come on back.
It's nice to have a bit of breathing room. But how about we launch now before that changes again? Almost surprised I haven't burst into tears yet, but I think I got most of them out when Conway and I said our goodbyes. Never loved a friend half as much as I love them.
Aw, you know I love you all too. I'll see you again before you know it. Plus, I left more than a few hidden surprises around HQ to make sure you don't forget me anytime soon. Ready when you are.
Mind doing the honors? I don't want to take my eyes off this for even a second. Launching in 3, 2, 1.
And we are outbound!
Stay safe out there.
I made it! Ha! Don't shut the door! I made it!
It really happened. Can you believe it?
Honestly, the only thing I cannot believe is that you did not go with him.
I thought about it, but I'd be no help. Plus, who'd do all the baking around here? Our whole society would fall apart.
Almost sounds like you were thinking of staying permanently.
The goal was always to leave. I fought hard to make sure everyone would have that chance, that freedom. But the whole reason I was on the ship that crashed here was because I was searching for somewhere to call home. After everything you've done, this place suddenly feels like it could be just that. Yeah, there's plenty of bad, but there's also been a lot of good. And I can make it even better. When Conway returns, I'll stay on Kairos and keep leading those who make the same choice. This is where I belong. Thanks to you, Vault Hunter.
I am not usually the help for help's sake type, but in this case, I am honored I could help a friend find his place.
I know you're not exactly someone who needs backup, but if you ever do, wherever that is, I hope you know I've always got you.
Hey, rookie! Fancy meeting you here! What boarding group are you? I'm
Diamond Premium Platinum Premier Priority Pro Plus. Gold!
Yes, but once the flight has left, I do not think it matters what metal your priority is.
No! Wait, I'm not done. Oh! You! I blame you for this, rookie! Didn't I ask you to mind my busy schedule? And here, I was just about to rank you up to senior rookie! Guess I'll go find the gift shop. Who else wants an extremely expensive bag of trail mix?
What the fuck just happened? Did I just blow up for no reason? Oh, I know what happened. I accidentally shot him. I wasn't paying attention. I put down my controller and I pressed the trigger. That was fucking irony. As soon as he said, I'll buy expensive trail mix, I thought Claptrap blew me up. No, it was just me being stupid. Okay. I like you check out his backpack. Yeah, he's a little pea shooter back there. That should be like the strongest gun in the game. It takes like 1 billion damage or something. Fuck. That's a lot of SMG damage for that guy. Oops. See if we got anything good. Nope. 65% shield. Nice. Okay, got that one done.
I'm on break. Go bother someone else.
Okay. I see. Yeah, I just want to do the main parts of these quests next, like the main parts of quests.
Do you know what happened to her? You haven't heard about her family yet?
Poor thing. I feel so bad for her.
She's probably a lost cause at this point. Vault Hunter. A moment.
Okay, what the fuck do you want, bitch?
Our food supplies are in danger, you see.
Oh god, they all look the same. think I do this one.
Our food supplies are in danger, you see. So, you're the one who saved us. I am leader Cassandra of the Agriculturalists. We nurture the future of the electi. I must admit, I am not accustomed to speaking to someone of your eclectic background.
I am a gambling robot with a magic deck of cards, but I am not magic myself. It is an important distinction. Are you writing this down?
How very droll. But your timekeeper-maker attitude makes you ideal to help. Filthy beasts are pilfering our most essential provisions. Please, I ask of you, help secure our supplies.
How do you sound that much of a fucking dick? Okay, it says 11:02. Okay. I do like this music though.
Different silverware, even.
Live on the scene once again, I'm Penelope Streams with the first coat in the absolutely legitimate hunt for the legendary vending machine. Keep it here for all your vending needs because, it's a slow news day.
My house set aside emergency food supplies in case of calamity. If only other leaders had shown such foresight. But alas, bilious creatures have sniffed out our reserves and snatched them away.
And I take it you would not have wanted to share with non-bilious creatures.
Indeed. The offending creatures are lurking nearby. Find the missing food crates and retake them from the horrid beasts. I'd do it myself, of course, but I just put lotion on my hands and, well, they're really rather sticky. You understand.
This could be the start of a new side venture. Cassius Pest Control. I will have to set up an LLC.
Stamp them out, lest they spoil our provisions. How ruthlessly you work. So unafraid of being splattered by viscera. No wonder Levane takes such a shine to Vault Hunters. Well done. Now, it's simply a matter of relocating those food containers to the storage unit.
Success! The supplies are once again secure.
Brilliant. Now, all of our precious food is safe. It does seem the Electi owe you yet another debt of gratitude.
Correct me if I am wrong, but the way that you say food implies that it is not.
Oh, so you're more than just a talking gun. Food is is my little code name for what you recovered. Ammunition, to feed our weapons, as it were. Those creatures can chew through solid metal, and they were eating our munitions.
For future reference, I would have enjoyed the labor more had I known explosives were involved.
Noted. Now, I'm afraid I really must go. My hands are dry again from all the work you did. You understand, of course.
Are you near the leader's chamber? Leader Willem requires some help as well.
Overly sophisticated twat waffles. Sounds fun. I don't know about opening shit, it's kind of fun. Okay. I think I'm gonna wait for my pizza. I'm getting super fucking hungry. Food's 22%. I'm Hootie Tootie, douchebag. Blah, blah. What is that? Yeah, sometimes these things right here give you legendaries. So I should look for them. Yeah, think about Borderlands 1. Borderlands 1 again, legendaries like super.
Ah, there you are.
Come. This device is essential to our survival. Well met, Vault Hunter. Now then, our Digistruct system relies on several relay devices for its operation. Simply activate them and you will have aided the engineering house and Carcadia as a whole immeasurably.
In my circles, activate has a very different meaning. I can assist you in turning them on, however.
Wonderful. When we were with the Order, we took our smoothly
Functioning technology for granted. Our new home requires more... what's the colorful phrase? Elbow grease than our noble houses are accustomed to. Your help is appreciated far more than you know.
Oh, that you're fucking lazy. I'm just a lazy asshole. Oh, man. Oh yeah, one of the things I want to talk about. Me and the manager, one of the manager guys that I work overnights with, very soon all the time. We were talking about well, the other manager now, he's been there for a long ass time now. It wasn't anything bad in that, but one of the things I like to promote in general, to like teach people what that want to drive to be better. You know, because I do it for myself, and communication's always one of them. And one of the things one of the other guy doesn't have, he's not very communicative. Like, he does talk but he likes to keep it on the download. And honestly, I think it's because, you know, the person has like a lisp in that, you know. So. And like, so I guess he doesn't like communicating a lot. And like, the dude's been a manager for a long time and that. That's one thing we're talking about. That I say, I wish he would communicate more because he has so much authority because he's been here for such a long time. All right, he needs to start kind of throwing that authority around a little bit. Not a lot, but enough so people notice that like new people come in, they start interacting, they start being kind of assholes. And that he can be like, yeah, it's like, dude, I've been here for, you know, he's been here for 20 plus years. It's like, I've been here for a long time, and that bro, it's like, this is not how things are done. But he doesn't try to, I guess it's a masculinity thing. He doesn't try to be masculine. He doesn't try to go and take charge of things. And I always thought about, like, why are you a manager then if you don't want to take charge of things? Like, you could take charge in many different ways.
Do I hoard my wealth to combat new and unprecedented dangers, or give in to the instant gratification of something new and extravagant? I am feeling new.
Got my dinner. So I'm going to be right back, and I'll see you guys when I get back.
Perfect. I will start with a flashy color change. Get their eyes locked on the deck. As I ask them to pick a card, my other hand brushes their coat. Light, practice, gun. No need for a finale. By the time they notice, I am 3 blocks away. Hard to believe this place was ever more than a wasteland. I should turn my intrusive thoughts firewall off. Keep people on their toes. The people of Carcadia were meant for fortune-telling. Your pawn is looking positively ghastly, and Mercury is about to crash on that ramshack you call a house. But for a tidy sum of 20,000 credits, I just might be able to help. Someone should tell the Rippers my vision is infrared. Watching them skulk around each night is getting embarrassing. In different times, the electi would have been easy fruit. The fact that I have not robbed them all blind must be a reflection of personal growth, Kenanzi. Last night, I had the strangest dream. It was about robot creeps. I wonder what it means. Levine has her work cut out for her. Poor help, infinite complaints. Zane. I would give her a discount if I was a different person.